Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to KP Green Energy Limited Q2 FY26 earnings conference call hosted by Share India Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on a touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Harsh Patel from Share India Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Congratulations on a very good set of numbers to KP Energy team. On behalf of Share India Securities, I welcome you all to Q2 FY26 earnings conference call of KP Energy. We are pleased to have with us the management team represented by Mr. Afan Farooq Patel, the Whole-Time Director, Ms. Shabana Bajari, Chief Financial Officer of KP Energy, Mr. Salim Yahoo, Group CFO of the company. We will have the opening remarks from the management, followed by the question and answer session. Thank you, and over to you, Siddharth.
All right. Thank you, Harsh. First of all, a warm good evening to everyone who is joining on this call. I'm Siddharth Thakur this side, part of the Chairman's office, and it's a delight to welcome you all to the KP Energy conference call. It has been a successful quarter and a very brilliant quarter for KP Energy. And Harsh, can you go on mute, please? Thank you. And the company has been making headway into emerging sectors and emerging geographies for this financial year and for the financial year that has been continuing. A couple of key pointers as we progress into this. While we love to take all your questions, I would please urge you to speak only one question per participant as we go forward to give all investors a fair chance to put their points. If you have more than one question, we feel very happy to have you rejoin the queue and pose that question again. Now I'll be handing over the call to Ms. Shabana Bajari, who will go into. I would be handing the call to Mr. Afan Patel, who will give a brief description of KP Energy, and then to Ms. Shabana Bajari, who is the CFO of KP Energy. Afan sir, over to you.
Thank you, Siddharth. Good evening, everyone. I, Afan Farooq Patel, the Whole-Time Director of KP Energy Limited. Thank you for joining our investor call, and I pleased to present a brief overview of KP Energy Limited performance and key developments for the first half of fiscal year 2026. India's wind energy sector is poised for strong growth, driven by advancement in turbine technology and evolving market model. The adoption of 4x and 5x megawatt class wind turbines are enabling higher generation from the same land footprint. These modern machines with larger rotor diameter and higher hub height are unlocking low wind sites and enhancing overall project viability. Stimulation round-the-clock RTC renewable power models that combines wind, solar, and storage, battery energy storage, are creating new opportunities for reliable green energy supply. Additionally, near-shore wind development are emerging as promising avenue, offering high wind potential and easier grid integration compared to offshore projects. Together, these technologies and strategic advancements are positioning India's wind sector for sustained high-performance growth. KP Energy continues to strengthen its position as one of the India's leading balance of plant solution provider in the renewable energy sector. We work across the full life cycle of wind and wind solar hybrid projects, from planning and designing to commissioning and long-term operations. As of today, the company has built a renewable energy portfolio of over 3 gigawatts, with more than 2 gigawatts already installed and over 1 gigawatt of capacity installed. Our market capitalization as of November 2025 stand at 2,937 crore rupees, supported by a recent CARE rating upgrade to A- with a stable outlook. While the detailed financial related numbers will be discussed by our CFO, Madam Ms. Shabana Bajari, however, I want to highlight some of the financial highlights. During the first half of fiscal 2026, the company delivered strong financial performance. Total income rose by 55% to reach 524 crore rupees. EBITDA grew nearly 60%. The profit after tax PAT increased by 42%. Half-year earnings per share also improved significantly to 9.15. We have recorded a sharp jump in operating cash flow, which increased from 6 crore to 85 crore in comparison to the H1 of previous year, reflecting both higher revenue and improved operational efficiency. Beyond financial performance, KP Energy is expanding its long-term growth avenue. We currently have over 2 gigawatts of project in hand. The KP Group, of which KP Energy is a major pillar, now has nearly 2 gigawatts of renewable capacity and aims to reach more than 10 gigawatts by the year 2030. Alongside its business growth, the group remains committed to social impact, supporting healthcare, education, community development, policy infrastructure, and assistance for the differently abled. In summary, KP Energy is well positioned for continued expansion. With strong financial results, a robust project pipeline, advanced technical capabilities, and strategical partnerships, the company is helping accelerating India's shift towards sustainable and reliable renewable power. Thank you. Over to you, Siddharth.
All right. I think that covers the very sufficient intro to KP Energy. Now I'll hand over the call to Ms. Shabana Bajari, CFO of KP Energy. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Siddharth. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the earnings call of KP Energy for Q2 FY26. I'm Shabana Bajari, CFO, and I'm joined today by our whole-time director, Mr. Affan Farooq Patel, and my colleague from finance team, Mr. Salim Yahoo, the members of our leadership team. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to sharing insights on financial performance, key milestones, and the upcoming quarter future outlook. KP Energy Limited is a prominent balance of plant solution provider in renewable energy industry engaged from concept to commissioning. Leveraging its capabilities in site planning, infrastructure execution, and grid integration, the company contributes significantly towards the nation's goal of clean energy. India today stands fourth globally in total renewable energy installed capacity, fourth in wind power and third in solar power. The nation's wind potential is estimated at 1,164 gigawatts, of which only 52.14 gigawatt has been installed as of July 25, with another 30.1 gigawatt under implementation. Similarly, India's solar potential of 748 gigawatt has seen about 119 gigawatt installed so far, highlighting the immense headroom for growth. India's electricity consumption, which stood at around 1.4 trillion units in 2023, is projected to rise nearly 4 trillion units in 2035, a growth that is structurally driven, not merely cyclical. Notably, India ranks second to China in achieving the lowest levelized cost of electricity for both solar and wind generation. With robust policy support and increasing appetite for hybrid and open access renewable solutions, India's clean energy journey is accelerating. KP Energy is proud to be a catalyst in this transformation, turning potential into power and projects into progress. With these, we are pleased to share the financial highlights of the recently released Q2 financial year 25-26 results as uploaded, indicating consistent execution and operational improvements. The company has reported the total revenue on a consolidated basis for the second quarter of FY26 at rupees 303.5 crore, as against that at rupees 202 crore during the second quarter of the previous year FY25, thereby reporting an increase of about 50%. The H1 FY26 was reported at rupees 524.1 crore in comparison to that of rupees 337.2 crore in H1 FY25, representing a 55% growth. This being the highest quarterly total revenue on a consolidated basis across all the second quarters of KP Energy. The consolidated EBITDA for the second quarter of FY26 stood at rupees 68.6 crores, representing 57% of increase in comparison to the second quarter of rupees 43.7 crores at FY25. The same numbers for H1 FY26 stood at 118.2 crores as against 74.1 crore during the H1 of the previous year, representing a 59% growth. The profit before tax for the second quarter of the current year was at 54 crores compared to rupees 32.8 crores in the second quarter of the previous year, reflecting a 64% increase, and that during the first half of FY26 stood at 88.7 crore as against rupees 56 crores during the first half of the previous year, indicating a 58% growth. The profit after tax for the second quarter of FY26 was reported at rupees 35.9 crore compared to rupees 24.9 crore in the second quarter of the previous year, reflecting the growth narrative at 44%. That for the first half year in the FY26 stood at 61.4 crore as against rupees 43.1 crore during the first half of the previous year, representing 42% growth. The company's EPS, which reflects the ongoing focus on creating value for the stakeholders, stood at rupees 5.36 on a quarterly basis as compared to rupees 3.74 of the Q2 in the previous year, reflecting 43% growth. And that for the half year of FY26 stood at rupees 9.15 as against rupees 6.47, representing a growth of 41% in comparison to the first half of the previous year. The order book currently stands at 2.2 plus gigawatt, inching us closer to the ambitious target of 10 gigawatt on the group level, giving us a competitive edge in renewables and aligning us for the growth trajectory. Our consolidated IPP portfolio stands at 48.5 megawatt, which is a combination of both wind and solar projects, and the quarterly unit generation during the Q2 of FY26 rose from 0.69 crore to 2.75 crores as compared to the previous year's second quarter, thereby representing a substantial growth in the generation of energy in our own project. The O&M segment remains a cornerstone and is also enabling us to have a sustained performance with reliability across the renewable energy platforms. The portfolio is currently 600 plus megawatts, offering an end-to-end support, including the preventive care and diagnostics towards efficiency enhancements. I'm also pleased to share that during the quarter, CARE Ratings has upgraded KP Energy's credit rating 2 notches up from BBB with a negative outlook to A- with a stable outlook, reflecting the company's robust financial profile and strong execution capabilities. On behalf of the entire KP Energy team and KP Group, I extend my sincere gratitude to our investors, partners, and stakeholders for their continued trust and unwavering support in our journey. I would now open the forum for the question and answer session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask questions may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Darshil Pandya from Finterest Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, hi. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
You are audible.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Shabana. I just wanted to understand on the orders that we were expecting in September, that looks like it's been delayed. So wanted to know your view, what's happening and where are we today?
Yeah, thank you, Darshil, for your question. So while we were expecting the orders in this particular quarter, we wish to specify here that everything is lined up and we are just waiting for the PPA execution. Once the customer's PPA gets executed, it will be easier for us to roll out the entire order for in our favor. So we expect that by December 25, the orders to flow in once the PPA gets closed at the client's end. Potential client's end.
Understood. Fair enough. And also to understand on the execution side, since we have done H1 with 500 odd crores, I understand we have given a guidance of 60-70%. So H2, any which way, it's very, it's higher for our company. Wanted to know, how are we placed for the execution side? Do we see any challenges for the rest half, that is H2? And wanted your views on that also. Thank you.
So Darshan, with about 2.2 plus gigawatt of order book on hand, comprising of about 2,900 crores, I do not see any execution challenge in the upcoming second half of the year. And we will definitely scale up our numbers and execution process to ensure that the growth remains.
Understood. I'll fall back in the queue. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thank you, Darshan.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Vora from Girnar Consultants. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amit, you are audible.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity for the question. One clarification I want, and here Mr. Faruk is also there. See, you are giving this announcements about winning some, in green hydrogen and EV, and always there's a mention of KP Group. So I'm a bit clueless which company is going to get what part of it. So if there is some clarity on that, it would be really good. Any comments on this, please?
I think Mr. Afan Farooq Patel would like to answer that question. One moment, please.
So, on a group level, it is a green hydrogen for which you are talking about. So, for hydrogen, there is a separate team, separate group, but as it is a green hydrogen, so we have to give RTC power. So, for RTC power, our both companies have to develop the solar and wind project. So, ultimately, everyone's contribution will be there in this MOU.
Sir, I think there are two MOUs that you have come up with. I think one is for EV and then other one is for this hydrogen. As a shareholder, as a long-term shareholder of your company, I am not able to figure out what is it that my company is going to get, because that is a bit confusing, sir. So I'm not able to figure out, and if there is some clarity on that, it will help us to have better clarity on the projections of the company.
Yeah, Amit, if you see that, what Afan has just said, that, it is taken at a group level, the reason that for the hydrogen, it's a green hydrogen. You need to have power from renewable sources, and the renewable sources are solar and wind. And KPI and KP Energy both have solar and wind. Now, whenever we have that execution of hydrogen plant or anything, at that time, what is more feasible depends upon at that time whether solar the plant is setting up in an area where the solar availability is there or the wind availability is there. On that basis, we will decide where this order will go. So at present, it will be very, it is a nascent stage to decide where it will be set up. It depends upon the hydrogen plant, where the hydrogen plant set, and if the availability of green power there is solar, it will be a solar, it will be a wind, it will be a wind. That's it. Yeah.
I'm still not satisfied with what you have said, because it's still confusing for us on this side of the table. But I hope there is some clarity to which company what is available and what each company is getting. It will make it clear for us. I hope that is more. No, it is just that, as a community of shareholders or the analysts here, we should be able to clearly bifurcate that.
It's clear cut. That's what I'm saying. If it is a wind, it will go to KP Energy. If it is a solar, it will go to KPI Green. Now,
is there a number that you can put, sir, on that?
That's what. If for example, if I'm putting, for example, a 1 megawatt or a 10 megawatt of a plant of a hydrogen. Now, if that hydrogen plant is being set up in an area where there is no wind, so then it will be a solar. Or if I'm setting up in an area where there is availability of wind and there is not too much availability of solar land, so it will be more of a wind plant. So it depends upon that final decision on which the area where these plants will be set up.
सर आपके लिए इतना कंफ्यूजिंग है तो हमारे लिए तो और ज्यादा हो जाएगा ना ये तो.
It's not confusing. You have to understand. अगर इसी चीज में मुझे वहाँ पे सोलर इजी मिल रहा है तो मैं सोलर में ही जाऊंगा. If I put wind over there, it will not be feasible for me to put wind in that area. So it depends upon where I am putting the hydrogen plant. So, for example, we have set up our 1 megawatt hydrogen plant in KP Green Engineering campus. That is at Mathur. So, there the power is solar. So we will put up solar for green power over there. So automatically, there is not no wind over there. So automatically, that particular execution will be done by KPI or something. So that way, whenever, for example, it is in Kutch area or Bhuj area where there is a wind availability, so automatically it will be a wind. But in a Khavda area where we see that there is a lot of solar availability, we'll automatically put for a solar. So you need to understand it depends upon the final stage where the green hydrogen plant comes over.
Okay. So if I can just put this in a bit of a different way, I'll just jump back in the queue. What is the potential that we can get as KP Energy from these MOUs? Approximately, a ballpark number will also help us.
Giving a ballpark number is not right in a public domain until unless it is at a nascent stage. In fact, the entire green hydrogen segment, it has a nascent stage. In fact, we have done 1 megawatt as a prototype and we have completed that. So if you see that, the projects depend upon the area where we are to setting the project.
All right, sir. I'll join back in queue. And just one thing, like till last presentation, we used to mention the order book in the presentation. This time around, ma'am has said on the call that the 2,900 crore order book is there. So if you can just add that in your subsequent presentations, it will be great.
Surely we'll add up that in the order book.
Yeah, I'll join back in the queue.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pranay Kumar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, Pranay, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, my question is around the tax rate that for this quarter, it seems to be a little on the higher side. So, just wanted to understand what would be the annualized tax slab that our company comes under for this financial year and also going forward.
So, as you're already aware that we already have an in-principle approval for 100 megawatt connectivity, and KP Energy is also planning to have a bit of a strength in terms of the IPP projects, and we would definitely be looking forward to have our own IPP project so as to reap the benefit of the depreciation and reduce our tax burden. And that is how we have done. While we had an original target of 100 megawatt, of which around 50 megawatt, 48.5 has already been commissioned, and the balance 50 megawatt is what we are looking forward to commission it within the next year. So, until September of next year, we look forward to have another 50 megawatt to be constructed and put to use, if not by September, by at least December. And that is how we intend to take benefit of the depreciation on tax.
Okay, understood. And coming to the current order book of 2.2 gigawatts, ma'am. So, is this for the entire KP group or only for KP Energy?
This is only for KP Energy.
Okay. And also the new order book which we were expecting that got pushed to December. So, is there any increase in the amount of that order book by this time, or is it still that around 600 megawatt or something?
So we, as I had already indicated in my last call, that we have about 3 gigawatt of order pipeline, and as we had already mentioned at that point of time, that these are large-scale EPC projects in which it is not possible for even the client to close it in a shorter duration, and that is the reason why the capacities, larger capacities are now being traced and followed up for the purpose of getting the orders closed. And the client on the other side, while all the negotiations and technical aspects have been closed, they are waiting for their PPAs to be signed. So once this is done, this again depends on a lot of scope and the structure of the order so as to finalize the order value. So right now it would not be a right moment where we can specify the quantum of the 3 gigawatt value what we are discussing in terms of the pipeline.
Okay. Understood. All right. I'll join back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parth Kotak from Plus 91 Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Ma'am, a little bit of color on the IPP would be appreciated. You've already mentioned the targets for the next year, probably a year and a half. There are some concerns regarding reducing rate per unit. We've done margins, EBIT margins of about 40% in the half year, similar to last year. If some guidance on the same would be available for this year, and from slightly longer term perspective, that would be helpful.
Yeah. So, while the IPP segment of KP Energy comprises of both solar and wind component, and we have about 11.5 megawatt of solar and balance 37 megawatt of wind. And the out of this 48.5 megawatt, 28.6 megawatt pertains to the PPA, whereby it is being done with the GUVNL, which is the Gujarat Urja Vij Nigam Limited, and then there are others for which there are third-party PPAs. So while you talk about the gross rate of the per unit energy in solar, it comes to an average, solar and wind both together, it comes to an average of about 7 to 7.5, whereas in wind, it comes, the GUVNL specific, it comes to around 2.4, 2.5, 2.43 rather to be precise. This is the gross rate. While in case of the agreements with GUVNL, since the transmission component is not to be borne by KP, it is to be borne by the client themselves. That is why the net rate also remains the same. And going forward, while the you can note that the India as a nation has the lowest cost of levelized electricity. Levelized cost of electricity is the lowest in India. And in such a scenario, moving forward, we expect that these rates will further drop when it comes to the contracts with government entities. In such a scenario, having a 25-year PPA with government entities at the existing rates is a win-win situation, is a profitable situation for KP Energy.
Right, ma'am. So on the same lines, going ahead, as we look to expand our IPP and probably the net realization comes down, will we be able to maintain the kinds of margins that we're doing in the IPP? I'm assuming in KPI Green, our sister entity, the margins are much higher, right? So just a little bit on the color directionally, from the margin standpoint, where could we be? This 40% number, can it be much higher, or can it come down as we move ahead, maybe 2 years, 3 years into the future?
So going forward, we expect the margins to improve. The reason being is, if you look at the quantum of IPP in the group entity of KPI Green, they are much higher and they have the large scale benefits also in terms of the O&M of the entire plant, whereas we right now in KP Energy are talking about only 48.5 megawatts. So once we grow in terms of the portfolio strength, we expect the margins to improve.
Perfect, ma'am. Thanks for the elaborate answer. Lastly, if you could also help and provide some understanding on the fund requirement going ahead, that would be helpful, and I'll join back in the queue.
So again, it depends upon the kind of the project that is being planned, and it also depends upon the availability of the grid connectivity. So while we already have 100 megawatt of wind connectivity in our kitty, where the in-principle approval is already obtained, and if that is on the CTU, if we go on the STU, it may depend upon what kind of the connectivity we have. If it is a solar component, the price will be different, and if it is a wind component, the price will be different. However, on an average, you can take about 3 crores on an average per megawatt in terms of solar, and about 8 crores per megawatt in terms of wind is what you can take. However, please don't take it as a ballpark figure, because it again depends upon what is the line and the length of the connectivity. I mean, the transmission line, the PSS size, and other factors as well. So this is just to give you an insight about how what will be the size of the value of the project, upcoming project in future.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm sorry. My question was regarding the funding requirement. Will we be raising additional capital? Have we thought about it? Are we already in talks to raise some more money for the projects that we envision to probably come by December?
As and when the demand will appear for the project, we will be taking up that suitably.
Thank you.
Just wanted to add what Shabana madam says, that, you can see that the KP Energy rating has also been upgraded. It has gone into A category. So now there is a lot of, in case if we have some demand with respect to the setting up new IPP, we will surely have a closure and everything in place. So I don't think fund availability will at any time be a problem. And if you look at the debt equity and everything of KP Energy is very low. So there are no big long-term loans on the books. So we will have that availability to, we'll have the capability to raise the funds whenever it is required for the IPP project also. So it won't be an issue. Yeah.
Noted, sir. Noted. Thanks. Thanks for the elongated answer.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achut, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Ashok, you're audible.
Yeah. What is the full year guidance for FY26?
As our Honorable CMD sir has already been talking about 50 to 60% growth in terms of the revenue, we look forward to the same.
Okay. And also, since last 2 quarters, I have observed that margins have been improved from 20, the margins are currently around 22%. Previous years, it was like 18 to 20. So is it sustainable going forward?
So we do not see much volatility in terms of margin, although they have improved over a period of time. You can also, benefit that particular growth to the operational efficiencies and the structuring, and also being mobilized in, in a larger area. In terms of large scale. So when you look about the site wherever we have, and if you megawatt total number of the order size that we've got from one entity is larger, the mobilization and the large scale benefits of being mobilized reduces our fixed cost. And that is the reason why we can see the operational efficiency together with cost reduction. Also, I would like to add that the group entity has 2 large cranes of their own, which helps us streamline our requirement of equipment and thereby reduce our costs.
Okay, so can we expect the same kind of margins in coming quarters as well?
Yes, more or less they will be on the same line.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rasheen from PINC Wealth. Please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. Hi. Congratulations for the good set of numbers.
Thank you, Roshan.
Ma'am, I have one confusion regarding the EPC business. So this 2.2 gigawatt EPC business consists only of wind EPC, or there is some solar EPC work also which you have gone from KPI Green?
So typically I would first like to explain, irrespective of whosoever the client is, if you look at the industry per se, majority of the players are going for hybrid power. The reason being they want to ascertain that they have the RTC power availability, and that is why hybrid is the only current available, immediate available solution. Now, while in a few cases with the client, it may so happen that the project is hybrid, wind component is being given directly by the client to KP Energy. It is also possible that the solar component is given by the client to other group entities. In such a scenario, we are also gearing up so that if we are mobilized at a particular location, we can take up both wind as well as hybrid together, and that will make it easier in terms of cost as well as execution.
Okay, so we can do both, right? Both EPC, KP Energy can do.
Yes, we can do both.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shikha Mehta from Time and Tide Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, and congratulations on a good set of numbers. I had a few questions. One was regarding, there was an article a few weeks ago about India looking to stall green power projects, struggling to find clients. Just wanted to pick your brain on that and see if we are seeing that happen in the industry.
I think here the article might be elaborating a lot of factors which are not in sync with what we as EPC contractors and being in the renewable sector are looking at. While government is talking about certain PPAs which were long pending and the reason of their defiance was something else, it was more about the viability of those projects because they were taken up at a rate which are no more prevalent and probably at a cost which did not, match with the returns at that point of time. I personally here want to I want to ensure that I want to tell you rather, Gals, that we have about 3,000 crores, 2,900 crores of order book in hand, 2.2 plus gigawatt when you talk about KP Energy, and KPI has its own set of order book in hand. And in such a situation with such confirmed orders and where the customers have already got their PPAs signed up, I do not see any of these challenges coming up in terms of KP Group's, growth forward.
But ma'am, out of our 2.2 gigawatt orders, how much is from our group entity?
Yeah, so if you look at the in terms of megawatt, if you look at it, then about 1,300. So about 1.3 gigawatts stands from group entity.
And if you could just help me understand a bit better, how are these are arm's length, how are these kind of allocated, these orders?
So while I think we can appreciate that KP Energy is one of the very few operators in the wind segment, there are not many players operating here. And the orders which KP Energy has got from KPI are the IPP orders of KPI, which are being executed and they as CPP orders or EPC orders for KP Energy. And in such a scenario, the market prevalent rate is what KP Energy has asked from KPI, and that is how the project is being executed. So I do not see any challenge in this. Had it been many operators in the wind segment, probably your question was valid, but there are very few operators, and that doesn't really have many options, give many options to KPI for selection of a successful wind partner in execution.
Understood. And what's the current bid pipeline?
So as I said before, around 3 gigawatt is already in bid, and we are expecting results by the end of next month.
And out of this 3 gigawatt, again, how much is group and how much is non-group?
I couldn't hear your question. How much is what? Could you repeat?
Out of the 3 gigawatts, how much is from our group entity?
None.
None. Okay, so these are all external.
These are all that we have already taken up with external clients. A couple of them are PSUs and others are large corporates.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. I'll come back in the queue.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aniket Panda, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. First of all, congratulations on your good set of numbers. I just wanted to ask that there was some article that there was some collaboration between the KP Group and Gold Wind Company. So is there any update regarding them?
Okay, so just wanted to highlight that while KP Energy is looking up for different capacity of turbine to create synergies and also to stay in touch with the technological upgrades. And that is the reason where we have been looking for our association and alliance so that we can have the higher generation on the same land parcel, the same size of land parcel, and by having a higher capacity of turbine. Goldwind is currently offering 5x megawatt and even larger to certain extent. In case of 6x also they are offering. So we are looking forward so that we can, generate larger power generation together with savings and also technology oriented. We can be tech savvy and we can stay in forefront of the technology. Thereby we can give pass on benefit to our clients and also reap benefits as an IPP player, here as on group level.
Just one more point that I would like to add. While we are definitely collaborating with Goldwind, we as KP Energy collaborate with all the major wind OEMs in India and working with global players as well. And we always prefer the best technology that will help us guarantee the maximum energy yield. So, as you would also mention in investor presentation, we are technology agnostic and we work with multiple vendors in this space.
Okay, just one last question. Will there be a separate call for KPGL entity?
Yes, there is a separate call set up for KPGL. I think it's on.
It will be shortly uploaded on the.
Okay, it will be uploaded shortly.
Okay, thank you so much. You people are doing a great job. Please continue making the investors happy.
Thank you, Aniket.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nishant Shah, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. I hope I'm audible. My first question is regarding the skepticism in the wind energy sector, be it regarding this change in regulatory stuff or this stricter deviation settlement mechanism that came in pretty recently. Can you share your views on that and how would that or how could that affect KP Energy?
I personally do not feel that there is any possibility of any kind of an effect, because if you look at the overall availability of the potential in terms of India has about 7,600 kilometers of coastline, and it has a potential of 1164 gigawatt in terms of only wind renewable energy sector. Now, in such a scenario, where out of 1164, only 52 gigawatt has been currently installed, and at the max another 30 is in under construction. With these, I see a tremendous potential when it comes to the wind sector and when it comes to India. That is the reason why, if you might have also heard, that India is talking about near shore and offshore installations, whereby the government has already identified Gujarat and Tamil Nadu as two states where these could get commissioned, and also that there are certain OEMs which are coming down to India bringing their larger capacity turbines. Thereby, I see a large potential in terms of wind. Yes, the grid needs to mature, and I understand government is taking efforts to strengthen the grid also, and also we are working on one nation, one grid kind of a policy which will enable quicker transmission of the power generated at various locations. Siddharth, you'd like to add something to this?
Yes. Nishant, I will tackle your DSM mechanism question, right? I think very valid point. We have been into the regulation that going forward there will be stringent regulation regarding the deviation settlement mechanism, and there will be more penalties on whether we can deviate or not. So we as KP Group and KP Energy both are tackling this in two ways, right? Our forecasting and scheduling center, we have a R&D center which is another KP Group companies through which we track every single unit of energy generated, and we have recently partnered with IBM as well. So quite proactively before the settlement has hit, we are already into energy tracking and analysis, and it's one of the core sectors where we're working on. Second, another channel which we have used and will be helped to basically control the flow of energy and also make sure that we are within the DSM band is that we would be entering the trading segment. With energy trading, we can let go or accumulate excess surcharge of energy generated to the exchanges, and this will help us tackle this stimulation. However, also to note, right, as DSM mechanisms get stricter and India is shifting towards renewable energy, there's a view in the market that the PPA tariffs would also go high, which on the long run will impact more of a revenue and profitability. So we have the right resources to tackle the risk, and there is an upside of additional revenue potential. So there is a very sweet spot to capture this market change. Hope that answers it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And then a subsequent question is regarding RTC, right? Renewable energy around the clock. How is KP Energy, right? I'm not talking about any other group companies, just KP Energy trying to foray into it? And how is KP Energy also providing or doing anything to support the enhancement of the grid, right? Because I read in the report that KP Energy helps to connect all the complete end-to-end connection to the grid and providing the power and then the O&M stuff. If you can shed the light on this too, RTC and grid support.
Perfect, right? And I think you'll also be hearing news in the market regarding there's a recent rise in RTC power and FDRE power, especially with the boom in AI as well as grid instability. So the core business of KP Energy, which idles around wind, right? Wind is a natural supplement to solar and is used for grid stability. So hybrid projects are the core base upon which your RTC power is built. Solar runs in the day, wind runs in the night. Additional to that, we have very strong BESS capabilities, battery-enabled storage systems, through which we can offset these powers. And as I already mentioned, there is very smart strategies that we are going to use, especially now that we have the trading license to either buy or sell electricity on these exchanges, such that we are able to deliver round-the-clock power to our clients. So using these three strategies, we are in a very, very good spot where we can work with RTC and FDRE, both players as well as tenders that are coming up in the Indian market.
Okay, and I think that would also support the grid side of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely, right. Wind, if you know the duck curve, which is, and this is not a condition that's, contingent on India. This is a condition that's prevailing everywhere. Wind is the first natural solution to grid power. And like I said, like Shawna also said, we are strategically positioned two ways. Number one, we are one of the very few operators in India that work in the wind segment. Number two, as grid instability and concerns over it rises, the wind energy will take a success factor in India. And KP Energy is uniquely positioned to capture on both of these tailwinds.
Thank you. Lastly, I will move back. Lastly, last time it was mentioned our presence pan India, right? So can you shed some light? How are the current orders spread across different Indian states, or the upcoming orders would be in different states, right, beyond Gujarat? Can you shed some light there?
So currently, while we are positioned in majority in Gujarat, we have clients from across the country. The reason being, as I spoke about the central transmission unit, so we have the CTU connectivity, which enables to have the plant executed at any place of India, and have the power being transmitted to any another place in India. And Gujarat being conducive in terms of policy, and also being the windy state in terms of the coastal regions which we have in Bhuj and in Saurashtra, and also the South Gujarat belt where the wind has been identified. It has become, I would say, the number one state in terms of wind energy segment after Tamil Nadu. Whereas, yes, we are also going ahead and exploring other states. As you know, we have tied up with the states of Rajasthan and also Madhya Pradesh. We are looking up, and we have had the bid pipeline in these states, and we expect the results to be in soon on these states.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Gaurav from VA Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Madam, I just heard you answer the question regarding the revenue growth.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is not audible properly.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good evening, madam. I heard you answer gentleman regarding the revenue growth for the year, and you have said that 50 to 60% is what you're aiming at. But in the first quarter con call, or the last quarter con call of last year, FY25, you said that 60 to 70% is what you were looking at. So is it a downgrade from that?
So I would not call it a downgrade. I would tell that the impact, there are two impacts which constitute the impact in terms of revenue. One is the seasonality of the particular nature, as you have seen, observed everywhere, every year and every quarter, that while about 35 to 40% of the total revenue flows in the first half of the financial year, whereas the 65 to 60% of the revenue falls in the second half of the year, because that is a larger period in terms of execution without any monsoons looming over. So this is one reason how severe is the monsoon and how severe is the seasonality of the climatic conditions prevalent, that decides on the revenue achievement, number one. Number two, also, it also depends on the type of order structure, the billing breakup that is being provided by the client, which may also have parameters of invoicing to the client after achievement of certain specific, stages of execution. And that is the reason why the billing, the revenue booking might shift in terms of time, but it is not a shift in terms of growth.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akhilesh Kumar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to know about our MOU signed with Gujarat government for 8,000 crore rupees for establishing those EV charging stations and all. How much we will be targeting out of that as a KP Energy?
So as Salim sir already spoke before, that the MOUs are done at a group level, which actually reflects the overall strategic direction of the group. Since he already highlighted that both hydrogen as well as EV charging are connected very well with the renewable energy, and that is the reason why the specific entity level execution, whether it will be KP Energy or any other group company.
I got it. My doubt is, as a KP group, there are 3 listed companies and there are few private companies, right?
Right. So
it would be better, like if you mention that which all company you are targeting in that MOU, KPI, KP Energy and KPGA.
I'm just trying to highlight that when you talk about hydrogen, there is a specific entity for hydrogen. So when it speaks about commissioning of a hydrogen plant, that will come into the specific entity. But when you're looking at sourcing of that particular hydrogen plant, like when it is backed by the RTC power supply, in terms of renewable, that power can be through IPP segment of the group company, or it can be a CPP segment set up for that hydrogen company by one of the group companies. Number one. Number two, when we are talking about EV chargers, not necessarily that the entire segment of EV might be set up in one entity. It may also be a combo. This all depends upon the structure, geography, and also the regulatory alignment which we are awaiting, and we are working on it. And once this is evaluated and finalized, it will be out soon in the public forum.
Okay. And what about the South Korean JV? How much we will there? We have a South Korean MOU signed as well, right?
Yeah. Yes. So with South Korean MOU, Siddharth here, again, we would be what we would be doing is we would be producing the green hydrogen and ammonia within India, and South Korea would be one of the off-takers along with other countries within that subcontinent, right? And also, just to add to your point, any green hydrogen and ammonia project that takes roughly 40 to 50%, and that's minimum, that would be the green energy cost that goes into the production for it, which is your RTC power cost. So if I'm working with, let's say, 100 rupees capex project, 30-40 rupees would be spent towards renewable energy projects, which would come into the basket of KPI and KP Energy. And both KPI and KP Energy will work together, because you need to provide RTC power to green hydrogen and ammonia production. So that would give you some baseline numbers to work with. But like I said, these are more visionary and long-term engagements, and the exact numbers will come as and more situation develops.
Okay. So what is our 2030 target for, say, out of that ambitious 10 gigawatt? For KP Energy, what is the share on that?
So as I would like to mention, which is already given in the presentation, that KP Energy has already commissioned 1+ gigawatt until today, and with 2.2 gigawatt already in hand. We are already at 3.3 to be commissioned within the next year and a half. So with this, even if we take it at 50%, I don't see any doubt in KP Energy achieving this. Further, I would also like to mention that while India has already surpassed 50% of renewable energy capacity as compared to the total installed capacity in terms of which is a very quicker achievement of the 2030 target. So while whether Indian government would revise the internal target or not, I'm not sure about it, but we definitely would revisit our target so as to look up to a larger number once we achieve the 10 gigawatt on a group basis.
No, my question is on 10 gigawatt for group basis. Why not you can have a separate as well target for KPI also, KP Energy also, or you are not able to calculate them, or just you are giving a fancy number out there?
Now, if you look at our presentations, okay, so KPI, if you look at KPI Green presentation, it has 4.15 gigawatts of portfolio, okay, as on date. And there are some other which will add up to approximately 6 gigawatts. And remaining, I think it will come from KP Energy. So you can understand that it will be around 60 to 40% at a mota-moti figure that if you look at it, okay, at this.
Also, I would like to add on that while we talk about the RTC power, it is a combination of solar, wind and BESS put together. In such a scenario, there will be certain component coming from solar which might be in KPI plus group entities, and the wind component would come into the KP Energy entity. So while overall the bifurcation of it is not a bifurcation about wind and solar, as together we would have the 10 gigawatt of target. The reason of having a combined target is it's not possible to separate when we talk about the RTC power. It is a combination of both solar and wind together with BESS which operates to supply the RTC power. In such a situation, we cannot have standalone targets. That is the reason why we aim, as we are just talking about, raising our threshold bar beyond 10 gigawatt so that our internal targets are even larger.
Okay, got it. So you are saying that this is separate for wind energy. We have a specific work in the group level, whatever comes, we get it. Can you give me a data on like KPI Green versus KP Energy? How much wind project CPP and IPP we are doing? Or say just you can give KPI Green as itself, that are we getting more work from rather than them on wind energy?
So as I spoke before as well, that we are amongst the very few players when it comes to the wind execution. So out of the total 2.2 plus gigawatt of the projects we have on hand, we have total 1,300, so which is about 1.3 gigawatt of orders coming from KPI, which includes again both wind and solar. So what we are trying to here emphasize is that while wind has always been, a mastery of KP Energy, and KP Energy also is into now solar, I think it becomes irrelevant so far as the execution is being done on the arm's length basis, and so far as the orders which we receive from KPI are the capex of KPI, not constituting revenues at both ends.
Okay, got it. But my doubt is still in the past we have got bigger projects in wind energy also from CPP also in the KPI Green, not in the KP Energy.
No, see, here what has happened is that KP Energy has, if you see the growth trajectory of KP Energy, over the period of time, it has grown from, I would say, 120 crore turnover to today we are talking of 958 crore turnover, which we had last time, and 524 crore turnover in the H1. So while the overall strength of KP Energy is being gradually built, its visibility in the market is being done, and it has proven its expertise by executing, orders which were generally left out by people, and yet we have ensured that the same are commenced and committed as promised. I mean, they are delivered as promised. In such a scenario, the visibility of KP Energy has grown. Thereby, we are having larger orders. If you talk about the current order out of the 2.2, about 1 gigawatt of order is still from the clients other than KPI, which includes PSUs and other private corporates.
Okay. Thank you for detailed information. And this UAE order for KPI Green, we don't have any role there, right?
Come again, I could not get your question, please.
Recently, one order win was there for KPI Green. So it was only for KPI Green, or it was again a group level order? From UAE?
You're talking about 150 megawatt PPA that is signed with KPI Green.
No. I think UAE, you got that Gulf
UAE, MOU.
Yeah. Siddharth, here I'll just shed some light on that. That is relevant for both KPI and KPE, because what we would be doing is we would be supplying again RTC power to data centers and life science projects across the UAE and the India. The consumer needs RTC power, and that is a combination that will come from both group companies, KPI and KPE.
Great to know. Thanks a lot. That's it.
Yeah. I would just like to add again, right, the future of energy, and not just in India, across the world, is RTC power. And with RTC power, you need both solar and wind, along with, advanced technologies like BESS. So any work that KP Group does will involve at the behest both these companies.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Vora from Girnar Consultants. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my follow-up. As the earlier participant also was pointing out, just a thought to the entire team. Is there any plan on board or anything that, because there is these two entities, to merge them or make it like one entity, because there's a bifurcation that is happening and there are overlapping orders or everything. So is there a plan to merge the entities so that it becomes probably easy for all of us?
So currently there are no such plans, and in case if there is anything, we will definitely announce it on the public portal.
Right. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask question. As there are no further questions from the participants, I would hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments. Over to you, sir.
All right. I would like to again thank everyone who has been part of this call, and it was a great pleasure to interact with you and as we deal with your questions. And KP Energy has been on a successful run, and there's a very successful future for KP Energy as we move forward, especially in the wind segment. And looking forward to hearing from all of you again in the next one call. This is the management from KP Energy, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Share India Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.